I'll be honest, I thought that Enkephalin recharged a lot faster. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we got started with actually being on the sea for Canto 5, on the Great Lake, rather, same thing. And this time we will be continuing that, but first, we do have a couple more pulls that we can do. It is still Walpurgis, so we of course want to grab as much as we can. Just a dupe for that one. I mean, Dawn Shards are nice, don't get me wrong. And just a generic pull with, oddly, same Ryoshu. Weird. We could probably end up getting to level 100, although I'm not going to use this until the seasonal Honglu is out. Maybe I can get all the way through, through that level in, what, 10 days? We are at 93 to get to 120. I'd have to grind quite a decent bit of Mirror Dungeon, but I can probably end up doing that. Yeah, I got 10 days. Yeah. Anyways, cruise party! That was me trying to do a Dawn impression, it didn't go well. The lake. When I look into its waters, I see my shimmering reflection. Maybe I'm just as refracted and twisted like my reflection in the water. Doesn't matter which lake we're on. I always look so warped, so unstable. I happened upon Ishmael's musings around the time we were on our way to the elusive Botany Corp branch of the Great Lake. It had been a while since our last disastrous incident. Maybe my distorted reflections were just me. Even if from a distance, it was evident that Ishmael was gazing down her own reflection in the water. I rested my wandering feet and decided to watch her for a moment. I wanted to see what Ishmael was looking at, together. My hands were peeling, bleeding. Salt water seeped into my gaping wounds. It hurt so much. So much that I thought I might faint if I didn't let go. But I couldn't. What was I holding on to? The adventure! There's a matter that requires your attention. We're approaching our next coordinates, okay? I'll go C2. Ishmael woke from her introspection and straightened herself. She strode toward us. It's up ahead. Radar's caught something. A visual on a solitary ship. Looks like we have 3 hours to go before we're allowed to move on to the next lake. Unless, if your manager will authorize us to weather the waves once more. No, Otis. The losses were worse than I anticipated, and remember what Ishmael said. We were extremely lucky the wave that came for us was a relatively manageable one. Yes, Executive Manager. Thanks to Otis, who quickly abandoned the idea, the sinners and I could observe this new vessel with somewhat lighter hearts. Oh, what a relief. That doesn't look like a pirate ship. That's... No! No! That is a mini cruise ship over yonder! A veritable... I love Don's voice acting. A veritable party ship! A vessel of partying! Even from this distance, I could see the colorful balloons and banners decorating the ship. I love to party! None shall be vexed, no matter how I frolic at a party. Naught will pay mind how I leap and run and shout in there. What joy is it not? Parakeet, go easy on the girl, won't you? But, I'm sure there's a local delicacy is there, too. Liquor, treats not found anywhere else in the city. William Don Quixote both twinkling glances in my direction, then at Virgilius, then back at me. Virgilius shrugged. Whatever we decided to do with Hero is none of his business. And maybe they can tell us something about the nearby Lobotomy Corp branch? Maybe they know something about the LCCB agents. Don Quixote was rhythmically swaying her shoulders. Maybe she's trying to imitate the Marlin dance she glimpsed back at the club. Hey ho! I want to ask the fine company a few questions! The faintly blaring music was the only response from the ship. Maybe they can't hear some of the music. Boy, music these days. It's too loud for me. It'll be faster if we just head over there and ask them in person. Yes, we can quickly stop by and ask them a few questions. We had 3 hours to kill anyway. Might as well make ourselves useful and collect some intel. Ishmael shot a glance at Regillus before staring at the floor wordlessly. I I'd say it's a reckless idea to just go to a random fest we don't know anything about, like its owner or history, or... But if the executive manager insists, sure, let's stop by. That was a very honest thing saying it. Just the actor I decided to adopt. Now, this boat will come in useful. Oh, this boat, not capsize. Should I pack some life vests or a buoy? By the time all 13 of us squeezed our way in, the skiff was absolutely packed and precariously swaying. Some sinners' faces darkened with concern. Don't worry, guys. If you all drown, I'll bring you guys right back. All the way to rain. just kidding. Alright. Think responsibly, everyone. And a man that was extremely out of character regardless waved at us. Does he know something that we don't? Does he know? Probably. Again, like, the more I'm, like, as I'm replaying Kanto 5, Kanto 5's writing is really good. I still don't see anyone on the deck. Wait but a moment. I should make use of my lungs to howl a bellow so powerful that I have no recourse but to heed us. I'm not gonna break my throat there. Surely you'll burst my eardrums! By the way, is it okay for us to barge into a yacht party like this? We don't have the invitation or anything like it either. I thought your chest, Greg. More the merrier, right? Yeah, I understand. I don't care less about a party. You're here to gather intel. Waste any more time and I'm leaving you behind. Wow, this place is fancy. Numerous liquor bottles and half-eaten food were strewn about haphazardly all over the deck. Appears this party must have ended very recently and abruptly. I like shining from this. Oh god. I spy lights shining from the ship's interiors. I shall go swiftly like the wind and verify its sources. My ramp up into the dawn voice got fucked. Then we kept running on sheer excitement for a party, scuttled to the cabins. Just one loudmouth gone. Then he slammed his fist into the loudspeaker that's been blaring music this entire time. Blimey, now that's a relief. Thought my AGM's about the best. Sergeant remained silent. Music was pretty loud. It's awful quiet up here now that the music's gone. Ah, this reminds me of a similar story my nanny used to tell me. It's an old story, but... Don Quixote returns with a dumbfounded expression on her face. There was not. What was not? Food, drinks, both? There was no one. Yet the lights were left on, with nary a soul to be seen inside. Ridiculous. It is clear that mere moments ago a large group of people were having a party on the deck. How can there be no one aboard? For truth, mayhaps they are busying themselves with a game of hide and seek. Can't imagine that the crowd left all these liquor bottles behind would be the kind that enjoy playing hide and seek like kids at a party. So why, they just vanished into thin air? If they were right to the waves already? There's one remaining possibility. Ship's storage space. Isn't these party people left all this uneaten food and liquor just behind just to hide in some cramped storage room? I remember now. Yeah, the story went just like this. Once a huge manor sent out invitations for a grand party. But when the guests arrived, they found the manor vacant and engulfed in deathly silence. How about we get the music going again? Smash the radio, lad. Ship is struck by the waves. We have to get out of here now. Then boom, boom, banging noises coming from a door behind us, door slightly ajar. So of course they went there to investigate, and there they were, bodies as stiff as corpses in rigor mortis, their arms stretched forward, hopping up and down. I think I'll go check out the storage space. Sinclair, why for all the poems so sudden? It's genetics. Sinclair hurriedly left the room in search of the ship's storage. Which was the dance that was all the rage back then, apparently. The art of dancing must truly be an art of great profundity. Some damn squib. Thought I was actually going somewhere. I thought with quite the confidence that this would be a tale of the living dead. Now what'd you do that for? Scared the kid off? Oh, where'd he go? I'll go find Sinclair. Like, a lot of people, I think, are of the opinion that the Kantos just progressively get better and better, but I honestly think, like, it's tough to say for sure, because, like, Kanto 6 is very good, and to outright say, oh, I think Kanto 5 is better, I don't know how much I can, like, solidly say that for sure. Like, I don't know. It's pretty dark in here. The hallway to the storage was significantly narrower than the party deck. I had nothing but faint, occasionally flashing lights to guide me through the dark hallway. Decided to proceed carefully. Seriously, this place is way creepier than wherever Hong Lu was going with his story. Sinclair? You there? I'm not really sure where these water droplets were falling from, but they were really getting on my nerves. I don't see anything in here. Not that I could in this dark, even if there were. All I see is a very faint ray of light and... Sinclair? Sinclair? It seemed to be been standing here for a good while. Exactly how long, I wasn't sure. Sinclair stood there, still like death. He looked up. What are you looking at? Now that I'm here, I noticed there was something funny about the ray of light. I assumed that the light I saw was from a lamp or something, but no. It was just there, starting the general area where Sinclair stood. There was no light source. Is the light shining from the outside, maybe? That doesn't make sense either. We're deep in the ship's storage, a big metal box with no openings for even a single strand of natural light. Besides, it's nighttime. It's getting more and more bizarre by the second. Where's this light coming from? Scott, we gotta get out of here! Run! Now! Come on! Fear of the unknown intensifies. What I saw defied every bit of common sense I'd accumulated over the journey, and had to get Sinclair out of there. I snatched and tugged his limp wrist. Come on, wake up! It seemed to have done the trick. Sinclair suddenly snapped back to reality and began screaming. He bolted out of the room. Oh, I lost the plot. Look at the bloody... There's a person floating there. There's a person floating there. Someone's up there. They're just suspended in the air. Okay, now I'm actually a bit creeped out. Can't be a person. And that was... When I think you have enough time for lecture, prepare for battle. I believe it was Dino Dave did a video about the horror of Project Moon, and like... Great Lake, very much that. Well, 1,000 strands, ineffable shape. They do SP damage upon getting fucking died. And they are negative coin, which is just the best. Oh boy, negative coin enemies annoying me. Although they don't have any sanity, so that at least does make things easier for us. Because then we don't risk them getting into negative sanity. Especially with a sinking team. Which, you know, we have. Yay, sinking team. Like, I think I mentioned this before, but, like, I didn't really have the opportunity to do sinking on my main account for the longest time. Just because the IDs that I happened to roll weren't sinking. They were a lot of bleed. A lot of bleed. I think it was mainly bleed and a little bit of burn, but as much burn as one can get from non-Walpurgis. Decent bit of tremor, but like my main account was like 99% bleed. And again, like I did, you know, I started in the bleed season, so that makes sense there. But because I know I started near the end of Yield My Flesh to Their Bones Bulkgok, or however you pronounce that, the rerun event. And Kurokumo Ishmael, I think, was one of my first gacha pulls. I know I had Ardor Blossom Faust was my leader for a long time, which that's a problem because yeah, when you have IDs that have a higher level than you and they die, they your allies lose a bunch of sanity if they're lower level. I want to say it's 10 per level difference, but it might be only 5. And ABS Faust blows itself up. So, you know, it was just great having to deal with, I don't know, constant sanity drainage. I believe the first ID that I sharded was One Who Grips Faust. I want to say that was my first shard. I'm trying to remember the order of things that I got. I might have sharded Manager Dawn. I don't fully remember that. But I at least had, I have Manager Dawn. But I got the La Mancha Land, Gregor, and Otis. I got those. And Gregor, Otis, and Roja, all naturally. And one thing I hadn't even noticed for a little while, like, I think I'd heard that Ringy song was good, and I didn't even realize that I had it. It's good. But, like, Wild Hunt, Wild Hunt I had to shard on my main, which is even better that I managed to get Wild Hunt as... Was it my first 3-star pull on this? I think it might have been. No, Hierarch Ishmael was. Right? That sounds reasonable. Yeah, I think so. I don't know, man. Just a little backstory into my history of Limbus. So they were mermaids. Yeah. They were sailing the ship. They were probably too distracted by the party to realize they broke a law of the lake, so they're being devoured by a whale. And their ship is the aftermath. If we stick to every single law of the lake, depending on the type of its waves, getting too close to a ship that broke the law could get swept up in the aftermath. The saying the lapse of judgment led to this chilling catastrophe. I remembered Ishmael looking into the lake and muttering to herself. I just remember the rough, biting words she threw at us. This was the reality of the Great Lake that Ishmael survived before joining us. Fuck, that's creepy. Fuck, that's even creepier. A place where even the smallest mistake could mean total annihilation. A place where we must struggle endlessly to survive the terrible unknown. The kind of path Ishmael sailed before joining us. If only I'd known. Maybe I could have been more understanding of her. I kept going back to my quarrel with Ishmael back at the boatwork, because I can't stop thinking about it. Smashed the murmurs that descended onto the deck, but lingering any longer may draw the rest of them to us. This party's over. Let's turn to our ship. We left the cruise ship as fast as we could. After an indeterminate amount of time, didn't find anything. We made the wrong call. Shouldn't have made such a rash decision. It's okay. At least we're still alive. And that was that. Ishmael didn't say more. It is fortunate, however, we procured ourselves some ration for the journey ahead. Hey, the radar's caught something! It's large. And it's very close to the center of the coordinates. And down on the radar has to be Limbus Corp branch of District 21. I'm going out for some air. Ishmael slowly returned to the spot by the ship's railing where she stood muttering to herself. For a moment I wondered if I should follow her like I did earlier, but maybe she wanted some time alone to think about things. I decided to leave her be. Get your shit together. Bear your feelings from them. I have a mission I must see through to the end. It's my one and only mission. I've sharpened my harpoon for that singular moment. I have to be colder, harsher. I have a mission that I can't fail. If anything even dares to stand in my way, Again, I do get Ishmael... people having problems with Ishmael's writing during this section. I love Ishmael's writing during this section. Like, it very much shows, like, she's fucking losing it. It's a bad time for her. Ah, there it is. A destination, the Limbus Corp branch of U-Corp. Think they're still in there? The survivor's pilot mentioned. Unless what has transpired since then, we still have time aplenty. As Sinclair and Yi Song shared their thoughts, the large structure loomed ever closer out of the mist and into our line of sight. Ah, creepy. Every sinner save for Ryoshu froze. It's the Limbus Corp branch. We were as close as it is physically possible to be to the center of the area delineated by the coordinates. Structure, size, and appearance matched the intel we received as well. The sight was enough to shut everyone up. Told that there may be survivors and the structure was far too optimistic a notion of what appeared before us. As if the Limbus Corp logo was hidden between the void materials. So that's really... Only the smeared logo of the Limbus Corp branch glistened amidst mounds of pallid, blasphemous white. This was the undeniable reality we found ourselves in. What the hell happened here? Pilot said the last thing that Twin Hook Pirates said before leaving this place was... The calamity's coming, wasn't it? The sight summons to mind memories from the earlier days of this company. The manner in which the organic tissues are plastered over the wall is quite reminiscent of that experience. Ugh, back at the D-Corp branch, right? Now, there's no poison gas trap or anything like that in here. At D-Corp, there's a traitor in our midst. Those would be false equivalency to use that experience to gauge the intensity of this mission. Yeah, I don't think it'll be much better here, if not worse. And Pilot's team is already... We consider them lucky that they've turned into mermaids. Calamity was... The pilot mentioned didn't destroy the D-Corp branch. It transformed this place into something uncanny. Something so grotesque that total obliteration would have been preferable to whatever happened here. Well, destruction isn't the only kind of calamity in this world. The Great Lake is home to 5 calamities. Well, 4 now, I suppose. Whatever do you mean? I mean that... you'll find out soon enough. No matter how careful you are, the Great Lake, the calamities will always find you. The laws of the Great Lake don't apply to them, making it impossible to predict their patterns. And now is the time to row you into the ruins of the calamity left behind. Take the skiff to the D-Corp branch. It's on the lake adjacent to this one. I'll be keeping my distance and watching from this lake, just in case of an emergency. Isn't that exactly why you should be coming with us? Well, that's what the guide bud's thinking, huh? After a quick tinkering from Cloud, the skiff tied to the side of Mephistopheles began its slow descent. The same skiff we used to get to the cruise ship. We're getting a lot of use out of this boat. I still don't trust this dinghy. It's too small. The small engine on the skiff revved gently, and our short, sputtering journey to the D-Corp branch began. Are lakes usually this foggy? The lake earlier was pretty misty, too. We must remain vigilant! Fog the horizons are climate quite ripe for an ambush, forsooth 'tis the #1 rule of adventuring tales. There was a growing sense of trepidation among the sinners, as we clinged the pale membrane-enveloped stairs leading up to the D-Corp branch. Hey, Dante, can you sense it? The golden bough? Not yet. You sure about that? Rudy was visibly disappointed. Maybe she was half hoping that I'd tell her the golden bough wasn't here, so she turned back around and headed right back to Mephistopheles. I know I'm the worrywart of the team whenever we gotta check a place like this, but I have a real bad feeling about this, guys. The closer we got to the entrance, the more reluctant the Sinner's Gates became, as though they were growing increasingly wary that some unseen enemy could ambush them at any second. So hold up, aren't you coming? Don't you feel it? It's dread. That would affect you most. You only spent years on this lake after all. So, that's what's stopping you? Wait by the entrance if you're not going. You'd expect, mate. Getting my tongue sense into a while ago. But you got a bit more cooperative of late. Guess I was wrong. Well, we do have to go. Michelle appeared to be the only sinner uninterested in the golden bough. The golden bough with the unfathomable, bone-chilling horrors of the lake. I was starting to believe that she considered all that nothing but obstacles between her and her mission. What made this pale, mucus membrane covering the entirety of the structure? Some kind of mold, maybe? Ah, yes. To identify it as fungi required to exhibit characteristics unlike the one we can observe here. I agree. They don't appear to be fungi, in fact. They appear to be made of organic living flesh tissue. See the blood vessels here. They go into random shapes without purpose or intent. Ridiculous. I'm surrounded by IF. What do you mean? Art reliant on the chaos of existence cannot create patterns such as these. Look at the big picture, fool. Gazing upon the big picture, I only see a pointless disputation that does not but waste our vigor. You don't intend to stall, no? See thither. Ishmael already walks a fair distance away from us. Thither. What a word. What a word, thither. Hither and thither. The whaler. The whaler. We will get into the whaler next time. But until then, see you guys later.